Hello students, I once again welcome you all for English class. Through this video, I will teach you the lesson Birth from your snapshot written by A.J. Cronin. A.J. Cronin was a Scottish novelist, dramatist and non-fiction writer. He was born in the year 1896 in the month of July in Scotland. In 1914, he entered Glasgow University to study medicine, but his studies were interrupted by World War I, in which he served in the British Navy as a surgeon sub-lieutenant. He received his MB and CHB in 1919 and took a job as a ship surgeon on a passenger liner. He afterwards took positions at several hospitals, and in 1921 he married Agnes Mary and moved to South Wales to start a medical practice. He received his MD degree in 1925 from the University of Glasgow, and he moved to London to start a practice there. In 1926, Cronin opened a medical practice in London's fashionable West End, but soon after ill health forced him to take leave of absence. In 1930, he was diagnosed with an ulcer and ordered to take 6 months complete rest on a milk diet. A.J. Cronin was one of the most renowned storytellers of the 20th century. His best known works are The Citadel and The Keys of the Kingdom, both of which were made into Oscar-nominated films. He also created the Dr. Finlay character, the hero of a series of stories that served as the basis for the long-running BBC television and radio series entitled Dr. Finlay's Casebook. Cronin died on 6th January 1981 in Montreux, Switzerland. This chapter is an extract from A.J. Cronin's novel The Citadel. This extract describes how a young doctor revives a child that is born lifeless. Joe Morgan and his wife are a middle-aged couple. They have been married for 20 years but have not got any child so far. Now, Mrs. Morgan is expecting her first child. Both her husband and her mother are feeling very nervous because the delivery of the child is going to be before time. A young doctor named Andrew is called in. The doctor has to put in hard labor in the delivery of the child. When the child is born, it seems to be stillborn. This shock could be too much for the Morgans to bear. While the doctor is attending to the mother, the nurse places the baby under the bed among dirty newspapers. After assuring himself that the mother is safe, the doctor looks for the baby. Finding it under the bed, he at once pulls it out. It was a boy, perfectly formed. The body was warm but was not breathing. At once, the doctor sets to revive the child's breath. After half an hour, terrible effort, he is at last successful. He thanks God and hands the child to the nurse. With this introduction of the chapter, now let us look into its story more clearly. The characters played in this story are Dr. Andrew Manson, newly qualified, takes a job as assistant to Dr. Page in a small mining town. On arrival, he finds to his surprise that Page is partly paralyzed and will never work again. This means Dr. Andrew Manson will have to do most of the clinic's work in this mining town at a meager pay. Midwife, an experienced nurse to help in the birth of the child. The midwife and Andrew are contrasting personalities. The midwife is a foil to Andrew. She feels hopeless, resigned, helpless, fearful and untrained. On the other hand, Andrew proves to be more optimistic, diligent, efficient, self-sufficient, spontaneous and well-trained. And the third character is Joe Morgan, a well-built person in 40s, lives in a small Welsh town of Blaney, works as a driller at the mines. He has been married for 20 years but have not got any child so far. And Mrs. Morgan, wife of Joe Morgan, is expecting her first child. Both her husband and her mother are feeling very nervous because the delivery of the child is going to be before time. And the fifth character is Christine, a school teacher. Andrew falls in love and contemplates marrying her. Sixth character is Morgan's mother, a tall, grey-haired woman of nearly 70s. Now, its summary more clearly. Andrew Manson was a young doctor. He had newly passed out of a medical school and joined as an assistant to Dr. Edward Page. Their clinic was in a small Welsh town of Blaney. It was a mining town. Joe Morgan was a resident of this town. He was a well-built person and worked as a driller at the mines. He lived with his wife, they had been married for about 20 years, but so far they didn't have any child. Now, Mrs. Morgan was expecting her first child. After spending a disappointing evening with his lady love, Christine, Andrew came back home. He found Morgan waiting for him restlessly. He told the doctor that he had been waiting for him for an hour. He said that his wife needed his presence because the child was expected to be born before time. Together, they set out for Morgan's house. Andrew was feeling very dull and tired. He had no idea that this night call would prove unusual and influence his whole future in Blaney. When they reached the door of number 12, Morgan stopped outside the door. He said that he won't go in. Inside, a narrow stair led up to a small bedroom. It was clean but poorly furnished. It was lit only by an oil lamp. Mrs. Morgan's mother was sitting beside the patient. She was a tall, grey haired woman of nearly 70. An elderly midwife was also there. Both of them watched Andrew's expression as he moved about the room. Since there was a period of waiting, Andrew waited in the kitchen. Soon he was lost in his thoughts about Christine. An hour later, he went upstairs again. He noted the progress made and came down once more. He sat down by the kitchen fire. At last, the nurse's voice was heard calling from the top landing. Andrew looked at the clock. It now showed 3:30. He rose and went up to the bedroom. He saw that he could now begin his work. An hour passed. It was a long, hard struggle. Then, as the first rays of dawn appeared, the child was born lifeless. As Andrew looked at the lifeless form, a shiver of horror went through his body. He couldn't decide whether to resuscitate the child first or attend to the mother, who herself was in a serious state. Instinctively, he gave the child to the nurse and turned his attention to Susan Morgan, who now lay collapsed, almost pulseless. He gave her an injection, and after a few minutes of feverish effort, Susan's heart gained strength. Now he could safely leave her. Swinging round to the nurse, he asked, "Where's the child?" When Andrew looked at the child, he at once knew that it was a case of asphyxia. Instantly, he was on his feet. "Get me hot water and cold water," he said to the nurse, "and basins too. Quick, quick." He took a blanket and laid the child upon it. Then he began the special method of respiration. The basins arrived. Andrew put cold water into one basin. Into the other, he mixed water as hot as his hand could bear. Then, like a crazy juggler, he hurried the child between the two basins. Now he plunged it into the icy water. Now into the hot one. 15 minutes passed. Sweat was now running into Andrew's eyes. His breath was coming pantingly, but no breath came from the body of the child. A terrible sense of defeat came on him. Having labored in vain for half an hour, he still made one last effort. He rubbed the child with a rough towel. He pressed and released the little chest with both his hands. Thus he tried to get breath into that limp body. Then a miracle happened. The little chest gave a short heave. Andrew continued with his efforts feverishly. The child had started gasping, deeper and deeper. A bubble of mucus came from one tiny nostril. The limbs were no longer boneless. The head no longer lay back spinelessly. The skin was slowly turning pink. And then, exquisitely, came the child's cry. Andrew handed the child to the nurse. He went downstairs and took a long drink of water. He took his hat and coat and left the house. Outside, he found Joe standing on the pavement with a tense, expectant face. "All right, Joe," said Andrew. "Both all right." It was quite light, nearly 5 o'clock. A few miners were already in the streets. As Andrew walked with them, he kept thinking unconsciously, "I have done something. Oh God, I have done something real at last." Hence, the message that the story Birth conveys is about a young doctor, Andrew, dealing with a critical birth case. The baby is born lifeless. He takes certain decisions that prove quite successful. Not only he succeeds in saving the mother, who is in critical condition after the delivery, but also succeeds in reviving the child. With this explanation, we have come to the end of this lesson.